Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
The story up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com is down the left-hand side of DrudgeReport.com. We're going to cover it after more calls. Armed Homeland Security agents and community outreach, that's close quote, to, quote, let people know they're in the area. Acclamation. It's a rollout of martial law. They just won't tell you that's what it is. Feds out in force to remind residents about snitch program. Hi, we're paramilitary federal police, and we'd like you to tell us if anything suspicious is going on. Yeah, we have a criminal government that's opened the borders up. Wide open. In fact, I want to shoot a special report for the Nightly News tonight on this, and I'm going to do a tongue-in-cheek piece on, well, I'm going to call Homeland Security up and for real and report them. So when I say it's a spoof or a stunt, it's not really. I mean, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm here to report that the feds are aiding and abetting and completing the smuggling process. Oh, man, I tell you, what a joke. Cop pulls me over. Mind if I search your car? Or did you have anything to hide? Or I'll go, well, yeah, I live in an authoritarian country where they arrest women whose 9-year-old daughters play across the street at the park and then take the girl away from them. Yeah, I'm really worried about you. Not that you're probably a bad person, but, man, you work for some really dangerous people. I'm scared of you. And maybe you like that, but you think that's a safe country? Tony in Ohio, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Alex, this is Tony. I'm in Idaho.
Idaho, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about the way these government preachers and these government churches are getting the very people to stand down who have the power to stop this. It's by the false teaching that Jesus didn't come when he prophesied that he would come in the first century. He said to those people, he says, really, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled.
And then people say it was Titus sacking Rome in 70 A.D. You know, I don't know if I agree with that interpretation. You know, there have been many antichrists. There are smaller versions of the bigger version. Things repeat themselves in cycles. So I think it's more sophisticated than that. But I don't want to get into an argument with you about that. I know this. You go to mega churches, and those people are eyeing you as operatives, and this is on record, it's not my opinion, and they're there to suppress and control. They're social engineers. And that's now mainstream news. But the flocks don't know it. I've got a buddy out by the lake that has a preacher I've had dinner with who's a listener who totally gets it and is on fire and knows what he's talking about. And I ought to go to that church. It's just like 45 minutes from where I live, or an hour if there's traffic. But I'm going to start taking my children there because that guy's on fire. But it's just, and that's a great blessing because I haven't found really many good preachers around here. I mean, I'll go to funerals for people that die, you know, and the preacher will come over and like try to mess with me, you know, telling me I'm full of baloney and everything. I'm just like, come on, man, come on. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, Alex. Let me just make 2 quick points, please. Christ said to the people that were standing around listening.
By the way, I'm sorry. Titus sacked Jerusalem in 70 A.D. Rome was sacked in 410 by Alaric. Again, I'm tired. I scramble things. Go ahead, sir.
Anyway, he said to the people that were standing around listening to him teach, he says, verily I say unto you, there be some of them that stand here that shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man come in his kingdom with power. Those people are dead. They're not standing around waiting for him to come.
Well, they're saying that's the generation when Israel is reestablished, is the interpretation that debates that generation will not die from 1947 or 1949, depending on how you look at it, before the return of Christ.
He said to Caiaphas, now this is Caiaphas, the high priest of that generation.
Well, listen, I don't debate that rapture theology is used to make everybody celebrate the takeover of evil, as Christians sit on their giant butts doing nothing, serving Satan at the right hand. I mean, the churches are the army of Satan, okay? Alex Jones here for Info. Woman calls Cheney war criminal. C-SPAN cuts the feed. And I mentioned this earlier, but I want to play a clip of this. And people ask, well, then if they cut the feed, how did that happen? People shot it then on a phone. But the feed got cut. They admit they cut the feed. And under that, we have a video report. Obama has been given kill switch to the entire media system. That is not just a kill switch for the internet. It's the kill switch for your phones, you name it. Like the headline is, Obama has been given the kill switch to the entire communication system. And that is absolutely on target and absolutely right. And it's very, very important. But here is a short clip. I mean, this is the beginning of the end of the new media, if they're able to do this. Chinese-style net censorship, you name it. And it's incredible that C-SPAN did this. Here's the woman calling Dick Cheney a war criminal that C-SPAN doesn't want you to see.
4 more years.
I was chatting with the vice president backstage, and I was saying, I bet that never gets old. And he said, keeps me in business.
Then they cut the feed. How do you like that? And they cut to the outside of the Capitol. Why don't they want that? It's a bigger deal than people know. The globalists, I guarantee you, don't like it. Brian Lamb, who I'm not saying is a bad guy, years ago talked about in an interview how horrible it was that my listeners were dominating C-SPAN, calling in constantly. And he also talked about in another interview about my radio show and how scary it is. And I can tell Brian Lamb has nice, compassionate eyes, seems very intelligent. I've watched Washington Journal back when he used to host it. I like his work. You could tell Brian Lamb was freaked out 10 years ago when he was talking about me. He doesn't talk about me now. Because, you hear this stuff, it should freak you out. Because if I'm right, well, that means we're in a lot of trouble, doesn't it? Well, of course I'm right. I mean, they're teaching 2 + 2 = 5 in the schools, folks. You don't have to believe me. I'm not the one that's right. It's prima facie. It's on the face. It's like saying red wine's red, folks. It is. It's like saying Mike Tyson's a boxer. It is. George Washington's a general. It is. Ducks are birds. It is. It is a tyranny. It is oppressive. It is totalitarian. Toto. That's William Binney, number 4 at the National Security Agency. There is an authoritarian population control system going on. And if people dominate live events, I mean, if you go in when Hillary Clinton's at a book signing and confront her, even nicely, it'll freak her out. If it happens everywhere, she'll break down. These narcissist control freak demons are scared of us. We need to put pressure on them so they know that we're not scared of their intimidation, and it's making us come out of the woodwork peacefully against them. You need to do everything. I mean, go bullhorn outside their houses. I mean, they're funding Al-Qaeda to kill Christians all over the world. Go get in the State Department people's faces. Get in their faces. You're a citizen. They're raping our name. They're funding evil. Breitbart, breaking, top of Drudge. Released, alien from border crisis arrested for alleged murder, kidnapping in Texas. See, there's AP. More kidnappings in South Carolina by illegals. AP. It's welcome to my nightmare. I think you're gonna like it. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our guest, Abby Johnson. Couldn't get on the show last week because traffic was shut down so bad. She's on the phone with us today. She has attwn.org. And she left the abortion industry in 2009. She's known that her calling was to work with current and former abortion clinic workers. She knows the deception of the abortion industry too well, working with Planned Parenthood since 2001. And I want to get her on for a full hour sometime in studio. I'm begging her to do that. To the position of healthcare director. In the last year for employment, many things began to disturb her. And why not just actually hear from her? Everybody needs to go to her website. I want to tweet it out right now. Hear from an abortion insider the truth. Tweet that. atwn.org on live with us. And look, to admit what's going on is to begin the healing. I don't judge anybody that's been involved in this. Quite frankly, I've been involved in it. You know, girlfriends would go get abortions even when I try to stop them, but still I was involved. I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing for it to go to that point. And even though it makes me look bad, I need to publicly say, you know, that. Because I want people to know that I'm not judging you. Again, I'm ranting on the subject. I'm going to skip this network break so she has more time. ATTWN.org. We'll put a link in the guest section of the news today as well on Infowars.com. Thank you for coming on with us. You know, in the 15 minutes we've got together or so, tell people what's really going on, what's really happening as you sit on the stand in front of the jury that is America, North America, and the rest of the globe, people tuning in from all over the world. What's really going on with abortion? What's it really all about? And what makes Planned Parenthood tick?
Show. I'd love to come in studio. I'm in Austin. But I think what people need to know